is up, WNBA fans? Welcome to the Watch Her Work show. We are here at the after party for the WNBA draft, and unfortunately, it is just me today. Kelsey is the responsible person and taking a breather after a long weekend, and I absolutely should have done that because I don't know if you can tell what's happening underneath these eyes, but your boy is suffering quite a bit just from being alive and doing things that someone in their late 30s probably shouldn't do on a regular basis, like go to shows, stay out on the weekend, run around with all kinds of folks at the gym, coaching soccer, just way too much stuff happening over here. But you didn't show up to talk about it. You showed up to talk about the WNBA draft. And honestly, I'm happy you're here. And even after the draft, we got some nuggets in our email inbox. If you completed the WNBA best of set on Top Shot last, I guess at any point, they probably take a snapshot at some point. There's so little information I was able to find since I got an email in my inbox. But it sounds like if you are a set completer for the best of, you get to an opportunity to join Asia Wilson for a Zoom little fireside chat, some Q&A, and learning more about what she does. But we got a couple folks here with comments in the chat. If you are here, I'm glad that you're here. Smash the like. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Homie Spun. You got so many folks stoked for the WNBA draft this year. ESPN, honest to God, went all out. The graphics were fire. The layout of the studio, it looked like a weird corporate luncheon, but for it being the first draft in like 2 years, we can't complain. The threads were fire. The folks in attendance were great. Holly Rowe was doing her best. For anyone who watched, did you see her like before even the first pick was announced? Like she is just like shuffling all across this room, like trying to talk on a mic, get info in her ears from the main host, and try to figure out like who is she going to talk to at all these people seated at the table who are, this is the biggest area of their life. They're hella nervous, and Holly Rowe is just like running around touching people, like trying to get them to answer questions live on the air. It was a weird scene at the beginning. It was a weird scene and a weird layout on ESPN. But the graphics were fire. The threads were fire. The folks who showed up, those draftees, they were there for a good time. And even some of the NBA stars like De'Arica Hamby and some other folks were there, and those folks were definitely there for a good time. And if you follow any of them on Twitter, they were going back and forth with one another in a way that was so entertaining. It almost outshined the show, but it definitely didn't outdo the draft that we were there for. And it looks like we have some more folks. We got Snapper. Thank you for the info on the Asia Wilson fireside. I can't wait to talk more about that and show everyone the email that we got. Yeah, I'm stoked too. Any kind of utility we get as WNBA fans is going to be great. If we can get a WNBA hoodie to flash at games, to take anywhere with us this summer, to wear at arenas, to wear out just on the street, like that's great. Like I'm all for that. Spread the good message of the W. And for the folks who are here, keep throwing stuff in the chat. I want to know what your questions were about the draft. I want to know what your takeaways were, because we're about to hop in it right here, and we're just going to go over what some of the picks were, what some of those takeaways were, and answer any questions that you have. And if this is a total train wreck and I need to bail myself out, we may also go through ESPN Fantasy has up their mock drafts for the WNBA season, and so we can probably go through one of those mock drafts, because that stuff is hella interesting at this point. I can't wait for more folks to join that. So let's see. We're going to get started on some share screen, and doing this while I'm trying to talk with you all at the same time is certainly going to be an experience. So let's see how that goes. What do we have here? All right. Awesome. So you can see up here on the first round, top 3 picks were not going to be any kind of surprise. So Atlanta Dream traded with the Washington Mystics to get the number 1 pick, and with the number 1 pick, they went with Ryan Howard out of Kentucky. Now, Ryan has a lot of question marks, a lot that she has to prove while she's going to be there in the league. There's a lot written about her motor, just her will to win games. And there was just a lot of questions about if she was going to be worth having the number 1 pick. But as you saw, and do you think we can adjust this at all so it works better with her banner? Oh, that's worse. Never mind. Let's go back to this way. And so there's a question going to be like, is she going to be worth having that top draft pick? And you know what I see in Ryan Howard, this is probably a controversial take, and people who are smarter than the W may not agree with me about it, but I see a lot of Kalia Copper in Ryan Howard. Her aggression on the offensive end, her ability to make shots from any point on the court, her ability to take folks on one-on-one on the offensive end. That is the reason that you pick her number 1. She's one of those franchise changers. Like, if she turns into the best version of Ryan Howard that we're going to see, she's going to fill butts in the arena in Atlanta, and she's going to sell jerseys there. And honest to God, that is something that franchise has needed basically since Angel McGottry left. Like, there is just hasn't been that person who was there to lead that franchise. And moving on to other draft picks, where we're going to take a break because Stubbs got the good info. What is up with you, my man? I'm glad you're here to smash the like, lay it down. Be prepared to listen tomorrow. Also, check us out in podcast form wherever you get your podcast. We are on the Team Hold Network, so that should pop up sometime tomorrow. So make sure that you download and listen. I get the text from my mom that she downloads and listens, so you'll be in good company there. But looking forward to that. And the points leader for Athletes Unlimited, the points leader for Athletes Unlimited, Tiana Hawkins. She was already a member of the Washington Mystics, and so you can expect to see her on a roster. Oh man, we're less than a month away from the WNBA. That's wild to me, guys. So we have a lot of good stuff happening here in the next month. Speaking of Washington Mystics, they drafted at number 3. They drafted Shakir Austin, who, by at least my eye, not watching a ton of SEC games, but watching a lot of YouTube scouting videos of her offensive arsenal is just absurd for someone who's that tall. She's about 6'5", 6'6", and she can put it on the floor. She can shoot from distance. She can shoot from the top of the key at 3. She can shoot from the corner. She has a really great arsenal of post moves. Some folks remark that she just sort of is able to go over each shoulder in the post, which is hard to do just coming out of college. That usually is a skill that has to be developed. And that's something that she has stepping onto a court right now. She has to work on some consistency with her shot, with the mid-range shot, with the distance shot. But folks are confident that she can do that. And I mean, she's just a person who excels on the offensive and defensive glass, is a rim protector. And I think if she, even as she is right now, she's a good presence on a Washington Mystics squad who needs kind of that interior presence off the bench to help with Elena Dildon, to help with Maisha Hines-Allen, to help with Elizabeth Williams on the rebounding front and everything like that. So she's perfect depth for a team that needs it, and I think can be kind of that franchise holder once Elena Dildon is gone. We see here at number 2, no surprise, Indiana Fever took Nalissa Smith out of Baylor. she again, I mean, she's one of the more sure things in this draft. The reason that Ryan Howard is number one is because she has this insanely high ceiling, but probably a lower floor than Melissa Smith has. Um, Smith is going to be someone who is going to be defensive presence forever. Is going to be kind of a boring kind of offensive game stepping into the league, but is someone who can develop into something really special. She likes to take threes, and she did that at Baylor. And I think if she can take more of that and develop into more, that's something that's special for her. And then you're gonna see as we scroll down, Indiana had so many damn picks this draft, and just to see what they started picking up is absurd because for those of you who don't know, they are the woebegone franchise of the WNBA. They are the Kings. They are gosh, who was another team that hasn't made it to the playoffs in forever. The difference being is that Indiana just had one of the top 25 players of all time on their roster and won titles. So they have this success that's recent, but man, they have just burned it down and are starting all over. So their next pick, they went with Emily Inksler, forward out of Louisville, who was in the Final Four. And for any of you who watched her Elite Eight game against Michigan, who watched her Final Four games, man, she is just a chaos causer on the defensive end. It just has so much energy. And if you were watching, you saw her interview with Holly Rowe after she got drafted, and man, she cares so much about what she does. Like, she was just quick to get emotional, just talking about like what her teammates, what her family and everything like that meant to her. And she is someone who is going to bring that defensive energy and has a lot of work to do to be kind of a consistent offensive presence in the WNBA. But I think she's going to be someone who can stay in the league for a long, long time. Indiana also got Lexi Hull out of Stanford. For anyone who watched the Final Four game of Stanford, I think you got probably the worst version of Lexi Hull. She got smacked in the face, got a bloody nose, and was back in the game like a minute later. So you saw her toughness, but you did not see what she can do from the three, and you couldn't really see what she could do from the defensive end. It was a reach. Folks thought that Lexi was going to go in the late second, early third round of the draft. So it was a reach from a franchise who is kind of known for taking reaches on draft picks that don't always turn out well. So I hope for the best from Lexi Hull, but this one wasn't one of my favorite picks. Getting down to another number 10 Indiana Fever, Queen Egbo, Nalissa Smith's teammate, who is taller than she is. Between Nalissa, Emily, and Queen, you have like three people right there who are over like 6'5", which is just absurd in the WNBA. There's no way all three of them can see the floor at once. So it's interesting to take all of them with first round picks. So we'll see what that turned into. Queen is a really raw product who can turn into something. Is already a really good defensive player, but just hasn't brought a whole lot from the offensive end. So we'll see how that goes. Other picks that I see up here that I really like, New York Liberty getting one of the Sabally sisters out of Oregon I think is just such a great call. Nyara has had 2 ACL surgeries. And just speaking as someone who also has had 2 ACL surgeries, man, that she can even like move up and down the court with any consistency is incredible. And she is so talented on the offensive end, on the defensive end, that if she can stay healthy, this is exactly what New York needed. They have so many offensive kind of wings. They have great defensive pressure from the wing, kind of the forward front. They don't have like a rim protector and someone you can rely on for a rebound. And I think Sabally is a great addition to that squad. One other one that's a surprise, but is just like sneaky good. Dallas with the number 7 pick went with Veronica Burton out of Northwestern. Veronica is someone who's just, Holly said it on TV, like she just got better year after year after year after year. And I can't remember if I retweeted it or I retweeted it on the Watch Your Work page. But from a DFS perspective, um, uh, Veronica's steal rate in games was just off the charts for college, and that's something about getting in passing lanes and just being aggressive on the defensive end. I think that's something that translates to the WNBA. So if we're looking for rookies who can have an impact on DFS lineups kind of right away or on your fantasy lineups, that's it. I think Veronica Burton can be kind of a sneaky good DFS play. Um, Other folks who were interesting, Maya Hollingrad, picked up by the Aces. This is a pick that they traded for yesterday or Saturday, sometime around there, and everyone was expecting to take one of Las Vegas to take one of the bigger names in this draft, maybe even Destiny Henderson out of South Carolina, and it just didn't happen. They took someone that honest to God, I haven't seen a game that this person has played. I know from watching clips and highlights and sort of reading stats and stuff that she's a three threat. She's a great rebounder. And Vegas needed someone to fill in at the forward spot with Liz Cambage going off to Los Angeles. But it's not something that anyone really expected. The other pick that Vegas had in that round, Kirsten Bell out of Florida. They said Florida State. Wasn't that Florida Gulf Coast that she was out of? Just an incredible offensive weapon and just someone who has attitude, who is, just ready to step in and take over a team. I think she's going to be a great fit for like a second unit kind of off the bench, lead an offense, be a reliable scorer. While Asia Wilson, Hamby, I think she can pair really well with like a Kelsey Plum kind of on that second unit. And she also had the quote of the night. Holly Rowe like asked her like, well, what are you excited for about Las Vegas? And she looked Holly dead in the eye. I was just like, it's Vegas. And just ended it like that, like perfect, like deadpan mic drop. It was a great moment. So you see some other picks here happening in round two, round three. Some interesting things that showed up. Nas Hillman out of Michigan landed in the Dream, which Nas had to be disappointed in being a second round pick when a lot of people had her projected at being a first round pick. But honestly, I can't imagine a better fit for her to just. There's not that many forwards that Atlanta has that are going to be seeing a lot of time on the court, and her just being able to step in and kind of show that offensive firepower that she has, I think is going to be great for her. And I think for a dream team, I think this is something between her and Ryan Howard is something that you can really build around. The Seattle Storm getting Alyssa Cunane at pick 17 is an absolute steal. Cunane is this all-world center who, I mean, I don't know why she wasn't picked in the first round. I'm probably higher on her than I am than a lot of other WNBA folks are. But if you just like look at videos of her shot from three, it is so natural. It is so smooth. Her ability to just navigate the post with quick steps, with ball fakes. Her footwork is absurd. How she can be so tall, but still kind of use the rim as kind of this second offensive help to go kind of up and under is incredible. I think the knock on her has always been kind of, does she have the toughness to stay in the league? I think if you're going to be around Breanna Stewart, Sue Bird, and all the great players that Seattle has in that culture, I think that develops you to be ready for the WNBA. I think that this is a pick of a player who eventually gets on an all-star team and just stays in the league for a long time. Other ones that are interested. Oh, I see that Schnapper has a question in here. Let me check with that. Would you say that Maya is the biggest surprise in this draft? I think she is probably number two on that surprise. Honest to goodness, I mean, I loved watching Lexi Hull play. I just don't see how her skill set translates to the WNBA draft. Let's see if I can show you. Is it on this page? Let's just see what the CBS person had to say about. They did all of these talks. That's the number one overall pick. I hope no one gets motion sickness while I'm stringing along here. But yeah, see what they had to say about the first major shocker of the night. With their third pick, the Fever decided to take Lexi Hull out of Stanford. She's a strong three-point shooting guard and plays very hard on the defensive end. That's her skill set. She shoots threes and plays really hard. I think you need to be better than that to stick on a roster or have an impact as a number 6 pick with all these other great players still left on the board. So the snapper, I'd say Maya's probably the number 2. Kind of surprised out of that draft, just that she is someone who came out of nowhere. But kind of the more that I read, it sounds like people have like a lot of nice things to say about her. It's just that Lexi is just, I don't know that she stays on a roster for this year. And that sucks to say, because I think that she is a great player, a great person. But that's just hard for me to see at this moment. And honest to God, I'm, some dude watching a lot of WNBA games in the middle of Nebraska. So like, I am not the master of all of this, but she can absolutely prove me wrong. It probably will. But sitting where I am right now, I just definitely don't see that. But thank you for the questions. Keep throwing those in. Are there any other questions that folks had about the draft? Because I think I'm ready to move on to something that Snapper helped me out with that I am just hella excited about right now. Let's keep scrolling through round 2, round 3, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Some interesting things here. Watch pick 29 for the Liberty in round 3. Sika Kone. There was so much written about her as a prospect who didn't start really playing basketball until like she was 12, and has just like played so well overseas in different capacities. There was whispers that she would be a first-round pick, and that she fell to round 3, and that she fell to a team that is just stacked with that much talent. There's a possibility that New York just like kind of stashes her for a little bit and just holds on to her draft rights while she plays elsewhere for a bit. But if she develops into the player that folks expect, she could be just a really dangerous threat. She has the outside shot. She plays around the rim. She's a defensive presence. She seems like someone who could, in the long run, become a really great WNBA player. And now, thanks to Snapper, do I get to say that we get to drop like alpha on everyone? Like, I'm not seeing this like anywhere else until I got the email. I looked on Twitter. I didn't see a lot about it. But let me try to talk and do screen share at the same time, which is normally a disaster. But let's go. All right. So if you completed the best of WNBA set, you may have gotten this email. Alpha, let's go. And Asia Wilson fireside chat this Thursday. Confirm interest and submit questions. Just if you follow Asia Wilson on Twitter, the notion of her doing like a fireside chat is probably just, it's hilarious. Like, it's going to be completely irreverent. It's going to be completely probably not safe for work. And like, honest to God, I am here for it. Like, whatever Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi did on ESPN with their red Solo cups, like, let's bring that energy to a Zoom call with Top Shot set holders. Like, let's go. But look here closer. This Thursday, April 14th, 4 p.m. Pacific time, we are hosting a virtual fireside chat with Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces, and we'd love for you to join us. During this event, you'll have the opportunity to connect with Asia and learn more about her career in the W, the upcoming season, and her background. Due to limited spots, interested VIPs and collectors with already completed WNBA Best of 2021 Summer 2021 sets will need to indicate their interest in a small group, and then will be selected at random. If you'd like to attempt or have questions you'd like to submit, please complete the form below by Wednesday, April 13th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Please click here if you'd like to submit questions for Asia. And by God, you best bet your boy already submitted those things. We are asking questions about her Twitter beef with teammate Dearica Hamby. That is totally just a comedy bit, but is absolutely the funniest thing in WNBA Twitter right now. We got questions about Becky Hammon. We are hyped for this. So I need from all half dozen of you probably watching this video, I need all of your good energy, good vibes, everything, all that good energy you bring to the Team Hold Discord, to all the other Team Hold shows. I need those vibes that like not only like am I one of those randomly selected folks, but like that we get one of those questions asked, because I would honest like my soul would leave my body. I would be just so hyped for that. Like that's cool. And let's talk about this from like a larger uh dapper top shot universe perspective. um I think from that aspect of being a set holder for this, like this is a like this we talk about utility all the time, and sometimes in a joking way. This is pretty hella cool utility for owning the set. um these like special small kind of VIP things for folks who complete sets, like even if they can't guarantee everyone who completed a set gets to like be involved in this and ask questions, that would be kind of an absurd practice. That you have an opportunity to, that you sort of feel like just getting an email like this, you feel a little bit like, oh, I'm getting let behind kind of a velvet rope on this. It's sort of like the Wayne's World where you have like the VIP badge and you're just like showing it to everyone as you're like walking by. Like this is pretty cool. Like I'm pretty hyped about this. I think that for folks who are brought up, yeah, like this is great, but you know, I want WNBA League Pass, or I want an orange hoodie, or one of the black hoodies, or one of the those like super dope like um kind of just like camo tie-dye like WNBA crew necks that they have on their website. Like um getting you one of those for completing a set, that's great as well. But just being able to be surprised by something like this in a pleasant way from Dapper, kind of after the day that they had and the energy that has been surrounding kind of Top Shot Twitter today, I think that's pretty hella cool. Um, so I think that's something I'm certainly excited about. If you are a set holder for the best of, make sure that you check your emails and find that stuff out. And yeah, I hope if I don't get it, I hope someone from the team hold family gets that, because that is, I mean, that's a pretty cool experience. So I'm hoping for the best for you. Um, so hey, we still have. I told Mike and Kelsey I had about like a half hour in me, energy wise, and we're almost at that point right now. But you know what? We haven't had a chance to do any kind of mock draft yet. So let's see if we can get that going right now. We're just going to click on one. We're going to see, is it going to let us in? Yeah, let's join. Okay, so let's get. All right, let's get in here. Share screen again. Try to talk while doing it. Not going to be a disaster this time because we're a pro at this by now. But let's go. All right, here we are. We're going to make some adjustments. Do. All right, that looks like a real window. There we go. Nice. And so we're going to be starting the draft here. You can see in the WNBA page or the fantasy page that there's a fantasy women's basketball site. Kind of along the side where it says to sign up for a league, you can do a lot of these mock drafts. And kind of in this way too, you can mock with 4 players, with 6 players, with 10 players. So far, and let's get that draft room opened. So far, we have one league kind of set up in the Watch Her Work the Watch Her Work channel on Discord. If you want to sign up, absolutely go for it. We have 10 spots right now. If that fills up, I feel comfortable starting another one for folks. This is not going to be anything that you have to put moments up for or anything like that. Guys, this is like one of the first season-long fantasy leagues happening in the WNBA. So let's just celebrate that. Like, this is awesome. Let's enjoy it. Let's do it. And so join the league. Make sure that it just stays in like the Team Hope family, so we can keep doing this for folks and just enjoy kind of learning about the league, learning about players. And since we have about 2 minutes here to talk about it, let's kind of go through. This is my first time doing it on desktop. I've done these in kind of the mobile site. So this part is a little bit interesting for me. So it's very much like anything else in the ESPN fantasy universe. It's pretty. I don't know what other folks are noticing here when they're looking at the player rankings. It's a little absurd to me that Tina Charles is the number one kind of perspective pick in that, when she just has so many other talented players on her team. Like you just see it here, like Skylar Diggins-Smith. She's gonna have Diamond Shields, Breonna Turner. But you just like look at that projection, and Tina Charles is right there. That makes me want to see like what was her production last year for the Mystics, where she was like kind of the leading scorer but got hurt. Yeah, she was down to third. So yeah, you see Asia, you see Tina Charles, and you see Brittany Griner, which I don't know for anyone else who watched the draft today, hearing that the WNBA and the Phoenix Mercury are guaranteeing Brittany's contract through the year, so she does get paid, and trying to work with the Mystics to navigate a roster spot in case Brittany has an extended absence through the season. It sounds like the WNBA is doing everything that they can to help the Mercury, help Brittany Griner. It sounds like for reasons that the state and kind of the other parties involved with her release are being kind of quiet about it, and probably for good reason. But that at least felt good that the WNBA and the Mercury are doing the right thing. And, largely that's something that you can count on with the WNBA, which is why I'm a fan, but it's still good to hear that. Oh my gosh. Did anyone else hear the Matthew Berry stuff? I got to turn off this sound at some point. I'm going to go a little bit down the line for my first pick. I love Tina. I love Stewie. Jonquel Jones is angry. She is last year's MVP. I would expect her to go scorched earth in all stat categories this year. So she's going to be my first pick here. And we're turning off the sound. There we go. And the great thing about these auto drafts is I'm going to be back up here in just a sec. And you see a lot of folks go. And what you notice that's different from other WNBA draft leagues is that, or NBA draft leagues, is that the guard position and forward center, a lot of those positions are just kind of lumped together, which honest to God is good, because trying to separate a lot of that stuff is dangerous. But I'm glad that we have some flexibility there. For this next pick, I'm still worried about Elena Zeldon and her injury history, and whether we like it or not, the Storm are going to be Jewel Lloyd's team for most of this year and then thereafter. So I'm going to look forward to her really stepping up and becoming a superstar for this league. And we're back on the clock. Holy shit. Where are we going to go here? I wasn't prepared for that. We're going to go back to Elena Del Don. I mean, she's a top 25 player of all time. She is says that she's healthy. We're going to have to trust her on that. And a moderately healthy Elena Del Don still won the Mystics a championship. So I think that she can be a pretty serviceable fantasy player. This is where things start to get kind of interesting. Kelsey Mitchell is going to be kind of the leader and the star for the Fever, but the Fever are going to suck again. There's no way around it. Emma Eastman is an interesting pick. I already have 2 forwards on here, but that can start to thin out kind of later on. So I think that's where I'm going to go. Emma Eastman for this guy. She's going to pick up a lot of different stat categories. And then we're back trying to figure out what are we going to do on the guard front. I see Clea Copper, Chelsea Gray down here. I think Kelsey Mitchell is going to get shots. She's going to be kind of the go-to player. That's where we're going this time. And let's hope that we can pick up Kayla McBride down here by the next time I come around. Oh my gosh, it's getting short. It's getting short. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Are we going to get there? Oh, hell yeah. By the hair of our chin. Good God. With Nafisa Collier out and, with Sylvia Fowles having to step out, or having a foot out the door. I think this year is the year of Kayla McBride. And I think she's going to be a fantasy stud. She's going to be a player stud. She is great with everyone else around her and healthy. I just really like her as a player. Oh, there we go. I thought we got stuck. And now we're back on the clock. And so we're still pretty heavy in the guard land right here. I know that Kelsey Plum is the team hold favorite. And that probably would be a good pick on most fronts. But I am going to go down a little bit because I think Hamby is the person that's going to step in for the Aces and fill that void that was left by Liz Cambage and just going to get a lot of that opportunity. And I like that what she can probably do with that. Yeah. Oh, deep threat. I'm so sorry. Sloot is so near to my heart, but we were heavy in guards, man. I think what I worry about a little bit with Sloot is I worry about the age. I don't think she's going to have to compete with anyone else on her team. Can I talk and do this at the same time? I don't think that I can. But we are going to dive into Shields. The worry also with Sloot is that Alamon is there with Chicago as well to really take on a lot of the role of backup point guard. She can take a lot of those minutes. What in God's name are we going to do here? It feels like we're kind of even along the side, along all the positions. You know what? Marina Mabry is such a good player. So that's what we're going to go with. And there we go. We have a full roster. All of this is set. So there you go. Congratulations, Team F. I think this at the very least is an F plus. So I'm pretty pleased with that. But yeah, so there's no hate for Sloot. Always love all the time for Sloot. But I think that Chicago's mission this year is back-to-back championships, and proved dead last year that they went 16-16. They had a 500 record and still won the championship. So they can prove that they don't need the regular season to win. So does Sloot take a little bit of a step back during the regular season to stay healthy for a playoff run? I honest to God don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think when I generally try to pick, I try to go players with like new opportunity who are kind of hungry to prove. That's why Jonquel Jones was it for me, because I can't imagine anyone hungrier to get back and be dominant in the league than someone who's knocked out of the playoffs earlier than they expected last year. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. What do people in the chat, what are people watching think of sort of what the that ESPN kind of fantasy experience was like? We got a pretty short view of it. I don't think every pick that we're going to host here is going to be auto picks for all of it. But what do you think? Do you have further questions? Was there things that like came up to mind of like, who the hell is this player? I know a lot of folks may not be familiar with Emma Eastman as she comes back from kind of her stay in Belgium, but watch out. Having passers on the floor like Sloot and Misaman with scores like Copper, Candace Parker, and shooters like Quigley, that's dangerous. If I was a fan of any of their team, like stuff like that would keep me up at night. But yeah, that's pretty hype. So this is a great night. This is a great night in the WNBA. Like we had an awesome draft. We had a draft in person. We got NBA Top Shot utility for best of set holders. And we just get to like sit around, shoot shit, and do like fantasy mock drafts together. Like, this is the cool stuff about basketball. Like, I'm so pleased about this. Um, Also deeply appreciate the Team Hold fam who are here to like watch, support, ask questions, be a part of this. I hope I see some of your faces in the Zoom chat with Asia Wilson later this week. That's all I got. I got to pass out. I got dad duties tomorrow, and um, I'm just an old man, and it's almost 10 o'clock for me. So we're deucing out. So thanks so much, folks. I'll see you in the Discord streets. I'll see you in the Twitter streets, and check out the Watch Your Work Twitter page. We still have a giveaway going on. So make sure that you like the video, subscribe, get in the Discord, follow Watch Your Work on Twitter, and get those moms. Get in that Asia Wilson Zoom room, and we're going to be out. Thanks all.